kidding me?
Episode 406.
You've got to throw some cold water on the situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
This is Mark Evan Jackson from Everything. You're listening to NetHeads.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
Well, thank you for doing that, and thank you for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday. I don't know what day it is anymore, Trent. Do you know what day it is anymore?
Hump Day.
Ah, hey, Mike. Guess what day it is?
Womp womp.
Coming at you at a Wednesday night. Hey, everybody. Obviously, look, I got to be honest. I'm like, hey, we're moving NetHeads to Sundays at 6, just like the good old days. And then my daughter had a dance competition one Sunday. And then, Trent, I'll tell you, honestly speaking, the second Sunday, I reached out and I'm like, hey, man, you down? And then Trent said, hey, buddy, why don't you tell him what you what you said?
I just said, well, Sunday is Mother's Day, right?
To which I improperly responded, completely throwing etiquette out the window, to which I responded, God damn it, you're right.
Yep, okay, you're right, never mind.
Probably not the best way to respond to that, but still, it is what it is.
But the proper response, though, for when you're told, like, oh, yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, I do have better things to be doing.
Fair enough. I mean, it was valid, and it was a very creative way of just telling me, you know what? No. I was thinking for you. Oh,
you have better things to do than to talk to your internet friend on Mother's Day.
Oh, or I'm just saying, you were looking out for my well-being as well.
I was looking out for your will-being.
Oh my God. 406 episodes, Trent. 406 episodes. And we never came up with will-being.
Dude, I don't know.
You're a goddamn miracle worker.
Satan's pretty cool.
If you want to take part in the program, you can just chat with wherever you're at. Except, look, I got to be honest, guys. We do stream out on the X, but we don't really see the messages there. So, I mean, honestly speaking, you just want to be consistent. And I used to think, Trent, let's get the show out everywhere. Let's get it to everybody. But now I'm like, I just want to focus on, it's just the YouTube. You know what I mean? Just the tubes of you, maybe. Anyway, that's the best way to chat with us. If you want to chat with us live, if you're listening after the fact, wherever you are, hashtag NetHeads, what have you. Trent, how you been, man?
Dude, I survived graduation, so life's good. Man.
There was one point, I think, where I reached out to you in the 2 weeks as well, and I'm like, hey, buddy, hey, you got any availability? To which you geniusly sent back an image of the video monitor hanging behind a camera. And I'm like, oh, man, graduation time already?
Yeah.
To which you dreadfully responded.
I don't even remember.
It's 3 nights of this.
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly, dude. Yeah, that was the first night, yeah. Oh.
So that's why we haven't been coming to you guys. We haven't been there for you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I sound like this. Because I'm not sick.
It was, it's just, for anyone that's ever done like a live production, it's hectic. And then it's like the most visible thing in the org. Everyone is paying attention to it all at once. It's the stress level is, and my department is 2 adults and a student.
You shouldn't call yourself a student like that. That's rude. I appreciate the fact that you're always learning, Trent.
Yes. Yes. Two full-time employees and a part-time employee. There. That's
very
better.
good. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to our Patreon support of the week, Geek Renderer. Thank you so much for your support. As we were mentioning in the pre-show, the little bit, because there's a little bit we record before the show, a little bit we record after the show.
A little bit.
As Tony likes to say, we like to give it to you from both ends. If you're one of our Patreon supporters, I'm glad you respect that, sir.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we talked about that I just have to bring up that's very impressive now, things look very structured behind you, especially for those that are just listening to the audio podcast. The full collection of figurines, of figures, of
dolls.
Hey, look, man. Doll is a 4-letter word, all right, Trent? You got to understand that, okay? Those are figurines. They're figures. You know what? They're your version of Precious Moments. Whatever, bro.
It's true.
But for those that there are the, what did you say? They're 3 3/4 figs?
Yeah, they're so Hasbro with Marvel did 3 3/4-inch figures from like 2008 to 2015.
Okay.
And so it's for me it's nice because there's an endpoint, right? Like the Marvel Legends, there's just too many. There's so many they're coming out now, It's like the 6-inch figures, like every 2 days there's like 500 more coming out. It's impossible to collect them all.
Trent, there's so many to choose from.
That's
Which, by
right.
the way,
that's right, kids.
If you look very carefully, that wonderful intro or graphic, I didn't realize I had a typo. I think it still plays. So much to pop culture.
I liked it actually. I thought I like pop culture as a verb, right?
It kind of, yes, sure, but it kind of sounds like I asked AI to give me a tagline for the episode, which wasn't the case, but ZB in chat also saw that and was as inspired as I was with the so many to choose from, which is why it was at the front of my mind. But anyway, well, I'm glad to hear you survived commencement. I sometime in another show, or maybe we'll save it for the Patreon subscribers afterwards. I would like to hear how this 3 3/4-inch obsession started. And I'm referring again to the figurines. I just want to be clear.
Well, that changes things.
A little bit, just a lot of bit, Trent. I apologize.
It's not. Is it correlation or causation? We'll find out later, kids.
There's so many to choose from. Look,
it's an easy reference for me. That 3 3/4 inches.
Fair enough, my friend. And again, we're gonna save that for the Patreon subscribers. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Trent. Right now, what we're supposed to do, okay, if you can believe it, is we're supposed to what the tech.
What the tech?
And I want to what the tech, Trent, but I got to be honest, man. I had a level of frustration. I'm wondering if this segment is going to survive. First of all, this is only the second episode with the new format.
And we're already rewriting the script, man.
Yeah. So
we're pulling an NBC here and we're canceling it.
Only the second one, my friend. It's going to be 6 seasons in a movie. But listen, every time I look at the tech news, it's the same shit. It's this data leak happened.
Yep.
They've got this on this wearable, that wearable, that wearable. Oh, they've got this phone, that phone, that phone. It's all the same shit.
And then like, there's a chance that maybe you'll be able to get the new AMD 9070 XT for retail. Nope. And all the retailers are going over MSRP. Sorry.
Intel has the GPU coming up. Yeah. I don't know. Look. Needless to say, 89 million accounts may have been leaked from Steam through a third-party connection or vendor.
Yeah.
That one's kind of harsh.
That one's... Because, automatically you're a big BFD, right? Like, so they're going to, like...
Let them roast.
Play my account or whatever. Yeah, except your account is tied to your credit card, guys.
Yeah. Anytime data is... Because, look, let's face it, I don't know what kind of information they got, but how diligent are you about using a different password on every single website? You know what I mean?
Ju-
Not you, Trent.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, man. And on top of that too, it's other data because Steam is notorious for not wanting to shut down either. So like if you just like X out of it, you have to actually go in and like tell it to force quit. Otherwise, it just keeps running in the background. So that's all that shit it's collecting all the time about all the things you're doing on your computer, guys.
Every time you hear force quit, do you imagine somebody's going before, you know what I mean? Just stupid thoughts in my mind. It's a bit of a bummer, but again, it was through a third-party connection. Lots of unverified information right now. So
Yeah.
all I'm saying is if you're a Steam user, it's time to change your password. Trent, recently, I decided my phone carrier was ripping me off.
Dude.
Well, okay.
They all yeah.
I shouldn't say they were ripping me off, but I had a funny feeling I was no longer getting the best deal. I called them. They really couldn't help me. I'm just sharing a cute little tech anecdote here.
Yeah.
We ended up going over, or I should say going back to T-Mobile.
Okay.
Trent, many, many moons ago, when I was not an iPhone user, I was T-Mobile. I was singular. And then I went T-Mobile.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wow, man. Yeah, singular.
So the funniest part about this whole journey is that the iPhone happens and I go to AT&T. Eventually I get annoyed with AT&T, I go to Verizon. Now I'm going back to T-Mobile, completing this menage a trois of telecommunication providers.
Uh-huh.
And the funniest thing as I was, because naturally the self-activation didn't go well and I had to go back to the stores. The most amusing part for me, and I apologize if I get the model number wrong, guys, but you're going to appreciate the spirit in which it was done. I saw my phone number port back in. It originated at T-Mobile. They still had my record. And for a brief moment, I saw that the T-Mobile system thought I was using a BlackBerry T8100i or something along those lines.
And you're like, I wish. Oh, what I'd give for a keyboard.
What I would give for those days again. No, actually, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because there's a product that's like called Click or Clicky or something to where iPhone users can add a tactile Bluetooth keyboard as in the case.
Yes, please.
Right? I mean, of all the things you think,
dude,
that's so dumb, but then
I would love it.
You never lose, by the way, when you're using that too, you never lose the real estate that the keyboard would
exactly
pop up and take.
Yeah.
I mean, you're adding on to it. And I mean, I'll be honest, we upgraded and I went Max Pro for the, I think, iPhone 16 or whatever it is. Because I'm older and even though it's a bigger phone, I can read things a lot easier.
Oh, I can imagine.
And plus I do like the real estate. Eventually it's going to be the size of a data pad from next generation, I think.
Dude, it's crazy. Cause I'm almost a year into having a different phone, and I'm still not used to the it's just bigger than I'm used to. Giggity. And
keep
so
coming
like
back to that 3 3/4.
I've never had more literally until this phone, I've never cracked a screen until this one because it was just so awkward in my hands because I'd had like the compact small ones for so long that the first time I got it, I'm just like, oh shit. Everywhere, man.
Look, I'm not going to gild the lily here for you, Trent. I got to be honest, okay? Because I've seen it in my case, I've seen it in my wife's case. As you get older, I don't know what it is. You start dropping shit a lot more. Yeah,
dude, I can't hold on to shit.
I don't know if it's a problem with my grip or my mind is just like eventually, fuck it, I don't want to hold that anymore. I don't care what you say. The nervous system is like, no, never mind.
I mean, touchdown spiking it into the ground when I'm pissed off probably doesn't help, but
no, but that's why if you're a 3D printer, you can have just a spare 3D printed body printed up, and then you can throw that,
drop it in.
Which, by the way, also great to have one of those if you go to like the doctor's office and it's a quiet waiting room, and just have one of those in your hand, and then just be something like this goddamn phone and throw it across the waiting room.
I'm sick of waiting. Bam!
As you know, and everybody watches in horror is like, oh, how could he be? I mean, because you remember there was a trend of people snatching people's phones as they're walking down the sidewalk and smashing them on the pavement.
Yeah.
You remember the horror that we saw then?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's what I would relive, seeing somebody do that.
Yeah.
I I'm doing fine with it though. But you're saying you just change your body type finally on your phone, essentially.
Yeah. Because I was with the Sony's last compact, which was it was like the size of the iPhone S, which I loved. Like it was just it fit in my pocket. So I was able to get the same width, but they were all at least like 6.5 inches long. So I'm like, God damn it.
I don't know what to do with 6.5 inches.
It's like, give me 3 3/4. That's all I need. It's
all
a
I
good
need.
reference. It's the pencil to my everything.
Although I will point out, I feel obligated to point out, even though it doesn't have any power. And again, let's not get into it, the details behind this. But right here, I have got my Google. This is the Pixel 7, I believe.
Yeah.
And this is my new iPhone, and that's Benjamin. But look at that. I'm like talking about, I don't know about this screen size and everything. It's essentially
the same.
And by the way, and this phone is like 2 years old.
Yeah. So and correct me if I'm wrong though, but when you went over to AT&T, you were also getting AT&T was also your ISP, right?
At the time, but now, no longer now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When we moved in here,
okay, yeah,
we went to AT&T Internet. I live in a wonderful. Boy, this is going to get really techie real quick. But I live in a wonderful neighborhood where they only put in certain size conduit to deliver all the telecom. Because they chose to do that, okay, there isn't enough clearance for other providers to come in. So if it's not Xfinity or it's not copper pair from Telco, then it can't be run in, because for the longest time there's been a fiber provider around us called Sonic, I think, that I've always wanted but may never have.
Right before the ground froze, Google Fiber went in my front lawn.
Like invasively, or
like they laid it like for the whole community, right? They're putting it down,
nice.
right? So they've got the drop that's outside my house that would go to my house, but it is still like I check literally almost every day to see if I can hook it up yet. Still not yet. It's just sitting there. The junction box is sitting there. I have to mow around it now, but I still can't connect to it.
You're like, they've put in the infrastructure, but they don't have the wherewithal to be able to do it yet.
I'm just like, it's oh man, yes, I cannot wait though, because
that's frustrating.
It's gonna save me money and give me faster internet at the same time.
Exactly, man. That's why I think, because obviously nobody's going to be willing to like rip it shit up and put new stuff in here. But I think that's part of all the other telco, the anti-fiber. They're like, actually, that's not true. I bet you AT&T could compete. They try and claim you can get AT&T fiber here, but it's some bastardization of it.
Oh yeah. Well, and honestly, like, it all just kind of depends on like the next time they do like a water replacement, right? Because like underground utilities, there's a hierarchy of how everything's buried, and water is at the sewer and then water, and then power and then gas, and then at the very top is telecoms, and so telecoms are never going to pay to dig anything up. No. So it's when someone else's trench is being dug, they'll jump in and piggyback along the whole way.
Exactly. Hey, and Trent, speaking of digging your trench, okay, I just got to say that for those times, not only when I have to be mentally sharp and mentally aware, but when I also need energy, do you know one of the things I do, what my hack is?
I do, Will.
Yeah, it's Magic Mind.
It's Magic Mind.
That's right. Now, you guys didn't listen to me last month. All right? I warned you. I advised you. I said, look, I said a number, and that number changed. And so, look, now my code, NetHeadLT20, you can use it at magicmind.com. You can click the link below. But you got to remember to use that code when you're checking out. I went through the process myself, Trent. Wanted to make sure that I was delivering for the people. Okay? I wanted to make sure that I had the knowins. And so I went through it. And honestly speaking, you got to make sure you apply that code. Now, here's what you're going to do for the best possible discount. First of all, you're like, wait, Will, You're throwing this URL at me. You're telling me about a code. Why would I do this? The reason why you would do it is because you want a natural way to either enhance your coffee or even potentially get rid of your coffee and use this. Magic Mind has got all kinds of nootropics and adaptogens. It's got the lion's mane mushroom in there. It's got ceremonial matcha. I still don't know what the ceremony is. I'm relatively certain, Trent, I haven't been certified for it, but ceremonial matcha is in there. Also, the Last of Us is on the air again, so it makes a lot more sense when I also go, and they got them cordyceps in there. All of these things help your mind, and they also do help take the caffeine that you're using in your coffee, and it helps extend it out, and you avoid that coffee crash. So you get all the energy, the good thinking, and you're doing things. So if you got to do something as simple as also digging out a trench, you want to make sure you get the length right, the depth, the width, all of that. It's got to be dialed in. You want a sharp mind when you do that, and you want some energy. Magic Mind helps you do that. All natural ingredients. Best of all, by the way, 100-day guarantee. No questions asked. 100 days, done. You don't need to send the bottles back. We're good. All of that for Magic Mind. So you go to magicmind.com/netheadlt20. It'll give you a 20% discount. So here's the way you do it. You want the best value, you could do 60 days. But even if you don't do that, do a 30-day. Because you can save up to, I believe, 45% off that purchase, or 32 or something along those lines. So you're going to go into you're going to add that in there. You're going to go to your what is that thing? Your shopping cart there.
Yeah, your checkout.
And then it's going to say discount code. You put NetHead LT20 in there, and it takes another 20% off. And that way you got a nice 30-day supply to fully try it out, to make it work for you.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
make sure
Figured
it
out
works for you.
how you like it, right? Because that's another good thing about it too. It's like it's not set. You just adjust it to your needs.
Exactly. You want to drink it with your coffee, great. You want to have it in the afternoon to get an extra kick.
Yep.
About the same time that caffeine might be fading off, you can do that too. But that's the way you want to do it, guys. The reason why I was willing to become a brand ambassador for this project or product, and I said brand ambassador in case you couldn't say that. I hate doing the show near the end of the day, Trent, because I get the magic mind's out of my system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I didn't take the afternoon bump. I went with the morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to throw it in my coffee, get a little citrus flavor in there.
Yeah.
It's not the thing you expect from your caffeine system.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Do yourself a favor. magicmind.com/netheadlt20. That'll get you a 20% discount on top of whatever you decide to do. But use it to your advantage. Use it to your daily advantage. Check in with your mental wealth by using Magic Mind. Trent, it's time to put our fingers firmly onto the pop culture pulse.
Thump thump.
And yes, I am still using...
Thump thump.
I'm still using those horrible AI generated
I love it.
images.
I love it. I think it's even better.
In a way, yeah, it's a little kitschy,
Yeah.
but it's nice.
We're doing it with a nod, but also like, thanks, AI.
Exactly. Trent, I don't really know what pop culture is dialed into right now, okay?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I can tell you that on the TikTok, the trend of the soundbite, that was rude, has already come and gone. So I don't know what the latest, but I will tell you one confusing thing though, that I don't understand, that I helped my daughter with a week and a half ago. Somehow the ice bucket challenge is back.
Wait, what?
Yes.
That was like 12 years ago.
It's back, baby. And it's
Huh.
not even ALS, it's for something else. But my daughter was like called out on social media, so she had to do it. So we went in the backyard. I gleefully had a Lowe's bucket full of chilliness.
Love that blue bucket. Love that blue bucket.
Right? And she said that she was doing this for this, and she was nominating 3 people, and then I dunked it over my child's head. Like a good parent I am. But I have no idea. Oh, it's for mental health this time. Buddy the Elf pointing that out. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it in the chat. But I don't know how we came back to that. I don't know how we got back to that. But let me tell you what is on the top of my. Do you have any more questions about the ice bucket challenge?
No. I'm just. It's like I'm like in the way back machine right now inside my brain of like, oh shit, I remember when that was going around.
I mean,
like,
yeah. What's gonna happen next? The Harlem Shake. You know,
we'll be planking.
We'll be planking again. Oh, I don't want to plank again, Trent. I did way too much planking. But somebody bring on the parkour. Is what I'm saying. What is on the top of my mind? Top of mind. Which, by the way, I swear, I've heard people start using the term top of mind. And I know one time I was just trying to say, well, the first thing that comes to mind, and I accidentally said top of mind. I'm not saying I'm starting it, but every time I hear people use it, I think I fucked up when I said that.
Yeah, like that was an accident, and now all of a sudden it's normal.
Buddy the Elf also pointing out he thinks he should go to a mental hospital after listening to all of the NetHeads episodes up to 165 so far.
Dude, he is crushing it. He is like just cruising through.
My actual pop culture pulse is about Andor again. Last time we were together, I'm like, Andor's back, baby, and it don't mess around.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know, as the binger you are, Trent, that last night was the, unfortunately, series finale for Andor.
Oh, really? It's over?
Yeah, it's over after 2 seasons. But here's the reason why. When they made the first season of Andor, it took them 3.5 years.
Oh.
So if they delivered one season for each year, then, Luna would have been... what's his first name? Why am I blanking on it? Is it Gabriel Luna?
Yes.
No, maybe. We're close. He would be like in his mid-50s by the time they got to the final one.
Non-canonical.
I just have to say, first of all, here's what I'm going to say about this show. Rogue One, to me, is literally the best Star Wars story ever told.
Yep. Dude, I could not agree with you more. It is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Not a single Jedi in sight.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
You got a Sith at the end. Spoilers, but if you didn't know by now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep.
Diego Luna?
Luna. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I just butchering it so bad. And I apologize, like he's ever going to see this.
Yeah.
Rogue One, to me, is the best Star Wars movie. That is Star Wars Prime, okay? And this isn't hyper. I'm even talking about over the OG trilogy and everything else.
Oh, yeah. No, it's number one, followed by Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'll accept that. This show had big boots to fill because of that. And it had to effectively thread the needle because it's going to take us up to Rogue One.
Oh.
In Andor.
Okay.
The first season we got 1 year. This season we got the remaining 4 years.
Okay.
Okay. And I will say that they hit, I think, all the important beats. They did, in fact, thread that needle. And just like J. Michael Straczynski taught us with Babylon 5, just because you know the destination doesn't mean you know the journey.
Exactly. Which again, Rogue One too, right? Like we knew how it was gonna end.
I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, Trent, because like I told you, it goes into Rogue One.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to spoil it for you. But it's such. I think the only weak point of the entire season for me was the opener, and that's it. So
really?
That first 3 blocks. And by the way, that's like saying, that was the least satisfying chocolate in the box.
Yeah, right.
All right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's what that's like saying. But they told the story in a way to where it actually changes, in some ways, the context of the things we see in Rogue One. Like,
oh, gosh, I love, yes.
Like when we first meet Cassian Andor, we're meeting him and he's meeting somebody else somewhere, right? And there is an urgency in his voice that the character had not really earned yet when he is like trying to drill down the information he's being given and asking for precision.
Yeah.
they have not only completely justified that level of energy after you've watched Andor, it enhances the context of that scene. And that's all I will say. I look forward to speaking to you about it some other time.
Yeah, no, that gets me. That I think that was the best selling point you could have had for me. Is the preparatory chronologically into Rogue One, and in that same vein, because Rogue One, dude, like I had this conversation just the other day of like how it's like, yeah, it's the best Star Wars movie, it's not about the Jedis at all.
No,
except for, and gosh, just one day, please give me the Donnie Yen prequel of the monks.
But he was still just a guardian of the will.
Exactly.
He was not. And I think it's also interesting though, because I don't mess with the Star Trek lore. I mean Star Wars lore. I don't.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to piss
a
off
million
the
nerds just screamed out in anger all at once. I don't mess with the Star Trek lore. I don't get into the Old Republic stuff. None of that, right? Like the closest I came was watching The Acolyte on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I've heard of Darth Plagueis because but I don't really go deep on any of that shit, to be honest. And I still want to know the story of why there are these gigantic toppled over Jedi statues that we saw on Jeddah.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, those things were like massive.
Yeah.
Bro. Just huge in the desert. Like, what? So I might like a story from that time, but other than that, this one, it was perfection. And I think it's because they did such a great job still existing within the Star Wars universe, exactly where the majority of us older fans came into the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because Rogue One butts right up against Episode 4. Just
Yep.
God, man, it's such great characters, such great depth, amazing visual choices, great acting choices. Just Andor. If you didn't get into it, you can watch every single episode now.
Like I'm going to.
Here's $5. Go see a Star Wars, man. Speaking of pop culture, Trent, I have no idea what's going on your hat.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's so I bought the hat from the company because they also sponsor a MotoGP team, but I couldn't find the MotoGP hat. So then I just turned it with my own patches sewn on as if it was like a MotoGP hat, like it's a sponsored race hat. But yeah, no, it's the sponsored team of American Racing. They're the sponsor for it.
Oh, okay.
This
Gotcha.
company is, yeah.
That company is.
Yeah.
Who you haven't named.
No,
All right,
No.
Look. We're gonna stick a pin in this. I'm just gonna say, if you know the name of the company, throw it in the comments. Or send us an email, netheadsonair@gmail.com. Say Trent's hat is in the subject line. Maybe we'll feature your comment or question or hot take on it in the listener's lounge. That happens later.
Oh, my.
I didn't forget y'all. Not by a goddamn long shot. But Trent, I don't know if you're excited to get into the next big thing. That is Supers Central.
They wear tights.
They do. And they do amazing things. It's so exciting. I don't know if you're aware of this, Trent. Thunderbolts is an amazing movie.
Best marketing, like comprehensive marketing. We've talked especially about their moving into other not just the movies, but in the comics as well, as they are taking over other parts of the universe.
Well, first of all, Trent, I want you to know that because of the movie, I once again did a stupid, useless challenge.
Yes.
Made a Red Guardian helmet.
Yes.
That I also completely weathered. Now, I will say, let me share this with you all just real quick, and all of its, as it helps me raise to glory. So, first of all, there were certain challenges. I don't have anything for straps. I could have left it strapless, but you know me, I just can't do that kind of thing. And yes,
Yeah.
this is how sexy it looks when you put one of these things on.
Oh yeah, dude.
The only thing I have mastered, which I'm now going to mess up, is putting on. Nope, there we go. The back piece.
Nice. Yeah, it's just clips. Is that magnet?
On the back, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did this up for the movie, not to wear.
Sure.
I tried to take a picture with a poster. That's it. Even the poster didn't want to be in the shot with me. But I decided to make this, and I will say that one of the funnest things about this helmet is the comments I got, because half the time, friends and just people commenting on the internet said, "Oh, now you've got an awesome cosplay. You could grow a beard and do that." To which I say, I frickin' wish.
Yeah.
Okay? Sorry to take over the super central for this, but I just got to show everybody. This is me after 4 days of no shaving. Okay? That's what this is. This is me after 4 days of no shaving.
Yeah.
Trent, I'm relatively certain if
It's-
you were clean shaven and you had not shaved for 4 days,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be out of place standing on a bridge telling a Balrog he shall not pass, okay? Right? Like
Correct.
this right here that you're sporting right now, that's just like 6 days of no shaving, right?
Yes. It's about half a week. Yeah.
So thank you for all of the well-intentioned ideas, folks, but unless I get an artificial Van Dyke with a longer
Ooh.
beard on it,
Yeah.
that's
It would-
not going to
yeah.
happen.
Right. Yeah.
Also, I just wanted an excuse to show the helmet one more time.
Gosh, man.
which,
Red
by the way,
Guardian.
I got all of this done in under 48 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Red
Yeah,
Guardian.
on one machine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Red Guardian does steal the show, obviously. But like you said, the marketing campaign, so that tells me that it reached to you too. Obviously, I'm pretty certain they did something that they planned on doing but moved it up, because I'm sure the box office wasn't quite where they wanted. How did you react to the revelation of what the alternative title, the reason why the asterisk is there?
Yep. So no, that's exactly it, and that's I just saw. They were, was it at the? It was pre-red carpet, but they were all like in their red carpet duds, and they're just pulling off the center of the poster, and it tears like perfectly. Like their marketing on this was just so good, and it just or the new Avengers.
Right, which, by the way, look, I just got to say, the idea that they're the new Avengers, doing this in this manner is wonderful. Because if they had just tried to release this team and called it New Avengers, it would have been that whole Coke, New Coke thing all over again.
Yep, exactly. Yep, 100%.
I'm bringing up a weird thing from the Cola Wars. I don't know why. Sorry. I thought it was genius because, again, by not saying what they are, they avoid comparison.
Right.
And by doing it when they did, they have the opportunity to possibly maximize on those that decided not to go, because now their interest is piqued. Right?
Exactly. Yep.
I've said this many times other places. I'm going to say it one more time just so your ears can hear it. The biggest compliment I could give this movie is that for, I think, the 2 hours and 6 minutes runtime it had, I was surprised and shocked when I was at the third act already.
Oh, dude, isn't that the best though? Like that's good directing. That's good editing right there. That's good editing more than anything. Yeah.
A good, consistent, solid story from beginning to end that held my grip.
And
I
just
mean,
moves.
And first of all, I think a lot of the fight sequences, I think there's a lot of practical effects versus CGI.
It makes such a difference.
But the other thing too is that I've brought up several times before as well, is that visually speaking, they do a lot in this movie that is just visually stunning, right down to doing a kind of a parallel to a scene that we have in the beginning. It's repeated again at the end, which, by the way, I believe they had to shift the time of day that they did an effect shot. So because the other thing had already been shot, so they wanted even the lighting to be placed
to be the
where,
same. Yeah.
I mean, mother trucker, putting that level of thought into this this silly Guardians of the Galaxy from Wish. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Movie.
totally. Like that. Yeah. Yep.
And it all, by the way, Trent, it all comes together believably. You know what I mean? Much
Yeah.
in the same way that the Guardians came together almost reluctantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a wonderful movie. Guys, if you have slept on it, get out and see it this weekend and treat yourself.
And if you want like a fun primer going into it, it'll be interesting to see how they do it because, for a while, Norman Osborn was Iron Man. He was the Iron Patriot, right? When he was very like, I'm not 4-letter acronym positive, about making his country really cool again.
Gotcha.
And so he took the Thunderbolts, and then as the leader of what was called Hammer at the time, instead of Shield, it was Hammer because he turned it into Hammer. Norman
Hammer
Osborn
Industries?
being like a billionaire just running the government, jumped in and turned it into Hammer, and then he took the Thunderbolts and just made them all the new Avengers, but had them dress up as their counterparts. So you had like Bullseye in as Hawkeye, and they were in their costumes, so everyone thought that they were the normal people. Anyway, and it's a fun primer for going into this.
There you go.
Oh, and it features the Sentry too. So if you're not familiar with the Sentry at all, like that's a good primer
there you go.
to know too. So
Also, I gotta say, I am absolutely and thoroughly stumped at the fact that Marvel gave me such a great movie with a great message about mental health.
oh, dude,
I was not expecting that at all.
yeah,
and this movie does
yeah.
it in spades.
cool. That's good because especially with those characters in particular have a lot to say about it.
Oh my gosh, look who is in the chat. Z Digital 13.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Moving on though, Trent. Once again, the great thing about movie trailers is that we all get the benefit of this virtual dick swinging contest. Anytime DC puts out a trailer,
right. Yeah,
because
yeah,
Marvel's
right.
like, oh, they got a trailer coming out. All right, we got something. I often wonder if they have like a file that they it's like this is what we've got. This is what we've got waiting in the wings.
Yep, yeah. They've just always got something in a drawer that they can pull out and be like, bam.
Yeah, first of all, before any of this other stuff happened that I'm talking about, Robert Downey Jr. did a post on Instagram, obviously from the set of Doomsday.
Yep.
Reading Renner's book, which is great. I love that he's showing love for his homie, but take careful note. Closely at his face, there are reference dots there.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's doing some mocap.
Yep.
Not to be confused with brocap or anything else.
That's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a bro cap.
Obviously. So in the world of Marvel, they counter-struck something that happened that I will get to. That's the last thing I want to talk about. And that's the fact they dropped the trailer for Ironheart.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, which I was shocked about. But let me tell you something. First of all, this looks good.
Yes, it looks so good.
The beginning of the ad, they were very sure to remind us that it is executive produced by Ryan Coogler.
Yep.
Who made Wakanda Forever, or Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
As well as the first Black Panther. But also, I will say that if you watch the trailer, they really have a tendency to have people in robotic suits beat the hell out of cars. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I guess because, it's like the one thing we as people just can't go up against.
And we've all fantasized about. Right? Like and god damn if that's not just a satisfying crunch. It's like the Doritos of violence.
The other thing too, that the movie brought out that I am not familiar with at all, and thank God for social media because they will educate me. But apparently, one of the perceived bad guys of the show is somebody called the Hood. I don't know who the Hood is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Who is the Hood, Trent?
So the hood, not to be confused with the Red Hood.
Right.
But the hood is kind of like a how would I put it? Like a bad Punisher.
Okay.
If that's a good comparison.
Could be. I don't know. We'll
Not
find
that,
out
not
more
that the
later.
Punisher's a good guy anyway.
I mean, depends on who you talk to, I guess.
Yeah.
All of this stuff happened in retaliation, though, Trent, to DC dropping the quote-unquote official trailer for DC's Superman.
Which is interesting because rumor had it that some of the test screenings did not go well.
Oh, by the way, I also just want to mention Ironheart. It has its premiere on Disney Plus on June 24th. 3 episodes dropping June 24th, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, gave them their flowers. Superman. I did not hear about the test screenings. And I wasn't going to talk about anything in the trailer, aside from the fact that I just want to give some love once again to Guy Gardner
dude.
in this one.
Yes, I know. And so I read an interview that they did with him, and he like full on tries to embody the Guy Gardner who, if you remember, is kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick. I mean, there's a reason why they went with the bowl cut, okay?
Absolutely, dude. Like,
never met anybody that's not angry that has a bowl cut.
Yep.
I thought it was first of all, in the trailer, he's featured. We'll cover those images in a second, but I thought it was an interesting choice. So the, one of those merch spoilers that happen, his ring, this is what his ring looks like. And I thought it was interesting. They once again went with a rock texture on the side.
Huh.
And then there's a gem in the middle and kind of like green translucent on
Yeah.
the front. Wasn't expecting that, but look, man, the thing I love is his moment in this trailer where he is just he's just this petty bitch when it comes to the whole kit and caboodle with just conjures up a hand and smacks the things out of the way, but it's dismissive too. He's just like that.
It's beneath him. Yes.
which really tracks and plays. Also, I've heard tell that he will also be featured or at least make a cameo in the upcoming Lantern show.
Oh.
That will be premiering on, wait for it, once again, the past is the future and the future is the past. It'll be on HBO Max, Trent, because they announced today that this summer they will be rebranding. Now, mind you, originally we had HBO Go, we had HBO Max, then we had Max Logo 1, Max Logo 2, and now they've said, hey, you know what? That thing that had all the brand recognition, okay, and wasn't the highest setting on a volume knob, the other part that was 3 letters, HBO, they're throwing it back on the front.
Weird. It's
crazy, man.
What did they think that they were devaluing the cable bots subscriptions by using Dude, I've had this conversation with so many people. That's just, come on. It's not that hard to brand something that's already been branded for the past 40 years.
I mean, it was kind of trendy for a while there to make stupid brand recognition name change decisions.
Yeah.
I can still go into my pantry and find products that still have a little blue bird logo in reference to their social media. I know I need to rotate my stock a little more.
And I love that people are refusing to change it.
I say
it's
the same
ubiquitous
thing.
now. Like, I don't
I
sorry.
still say it's a tweet. It's Twitter. It is what it is.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
But yeah, there's going to be a Lanterns TV show that are going to focus on Hal Jordan and what was the name of the Black Lantern? Not Black Lantern, but the
John. Oh gosh, dang it! I think it's John Stewart.
Yes, it is, because it sounds like John Stewart, but it's not John Stewart. It's John Stewart.
Yes.
And oh no, my eyes have gone cross.
Yep. And if you're a child of the early '90s like me, your Green Lantern was Kyle Rayner.
Right? Which
he was always my favorite.
interestingly enough, because again, I was always Marvel, piss on DC. But there was a brief amount of time I was working for a company, and
This is
there
me
were
too, dude.
there were all of these back volumes because the company was supposed to do a 3D online DC game. And so one of the co-founders brought in all of his comic collection. So I read a good probably 3 years of Kyle's run
So
as the
good.
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, correct
good.
me if I'm wrong, it's during Kyle Rayner's reign, if you will, that we got the origination of the term fridging.
Yes, that is exactly where it came from. Yes. Yeah.
I love the Z Digital 13 saying in the chat, what kind of Days of Future Past timeline am I in? Prequel Star Wars, New Avengers, Green Lantern, OG NetHeads? It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of which, remember when Ryan Reynolds was the Green Lantern?
I mean, he really isn't letting us forget it. And to a certain extent, I mean, it comes up in all 3 of the Deadpool movies. Yeah. So yeah, right down to the original one with the whole "don't make the costume green or animated." Hey Trent.
Yes, sir.
We gotta wrap this up. Once again, the listeners' lounge not gonna be getting a lot of love because of my shitty timing skills, but it's time we talk about 3D printing it. Yeah, baby.
Oh, and again, like if I had a soundboard, I would just have a dot matrix printer going right now. which is my actual ringtone. Like if my phone goes off, that's the sound that people hear.
Fair enough. Trent, I already showed you basically what was one of the 2 obsessions that I had this past week with 3D printing.
Oh yeah,
the first was the Red Guardian
which
helmet.
Turned out flawlessly.
Which I will point out, by the way, other than the elastic that I had to use for the straps and these pieces that came with the print that are similar to what are seen on screen, I did, other than the material pieces that I bought, everything 3D printed. The star prints up as a separate item. Obviously, this bracket I was talking about prints as a separate item. Yeah. And then when I had faux, because, everybody's got faux leather laying around, don't they?
In the craft closet.
But I did not have a
buckle
clamp.
Yeah.
I 3D printed those.
Oh, nice.
It was.
And then did you paint those, or was that the actual filament color?
Oh no! I go for my whole thing when I do these. Other than the new one that I'm going to be doing, my next adventure is going to be a Mandalorian helmet, which you cannot get away from. My whole thing about these is practical prints, meaning I take it off the print bed, do very little to it, and I'm done. But this one, there were just too many things to make, like making the eyelets look brassish. I did weathering for the first time, which was the most terrifying experience of my life. I'm going to take acrylic paint and put it onto a very wet brush.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to smear it on this. Yep. And you're saying that then I will wipe it off and it'll be okay?
Yep.
Doesn't make sense. Somehow works good. It's one of those things that really is just like trust the process.
Yeah. Just trust the process.
Just
man.
trust the process, man.
Just
go with it. But the other thing, again, less than 24. I actually got that done in 24 hours too. Really good print. And by the way, coming in the next week, if you go to netheadsonair.com, you'll see an area. You can go ahead and get a link to see where you could buy one of the Red Guardian helmets. I will make you one. Or you can email if you're interested, netheadsonair@gmail.com, saying, Red Guardian me, Will, in the subject line, and I'll know to look out for it. But I wanted the other thing that I printed that I absolutely had to print, ridiculously so. I won't bore you with the grocery bag clips for the tie-down runners in the back of my truck that I did. I won't bore you with that. But this one, I just couldn't help myself, okay? I saw this and I said, Trent, I has to have it, I says. I has to have it. So once again, we're going to play that wonderful game. Can you figure it out? That's a terrible title, but that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show Trent a 3D print. You can play along in the chat if you're watching live, okay? Here we go. By the way, Michelle Kuzo chiming in saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys are on Twitch." And again, I'm so late.
Hey,
you know,
Michelle.
as long as you're there, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
that's what's important.
And she just got back from Epcot.
Ah,
I know. I know, and it's snowing here, and I want to be in Florida.
I don't. Yeah, right, man. No, we got 70 degrees here. I got the pool all cleaned up. Okay, Trent, I'm gonna show you the 3D print that I made.
Okay.
Okay, and you need to figure out what is its purpose. Oh, that's the name of the game show. What's my purpose?
Yes. What's
Where
this
will-
for?
Yeah, I don't know what he'll win, but tell him, Johnny, he'll win nothing. Maybe I'll send you one of the prints. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to show it to you. You're going to be like, I got an idea, but we'll see. So I'm going to show you the print. If you guys want to play along in the chat, go ahead. It is okay because Trent doesn't read the chat while we're live.
No, huh?
So this is the 3D print, Trent. As you can see,
Okay.
it looks very cup-like.
Yep.
Has a handle.
It does.
Pistol grip on this one.
Yep.
But I will first introduce you this angle. It's the bottom, and there is a hole in the middle. So obviously,
Okay.
it cannot hold liquid. Okay.
Okay.
Now I will present to you the top view. Once again, we have
Oh
the
wow!
handle,
So it's
same
not like
hole.
it's there's an actual hole in it.
and then you'll see there's this additional chamber with another hole in it. Now, it's not for that.
It's not for that. Yeah.
Okay. This
yeah,
does not.
That's. Trust me, Will. I know that's too deep. Okay?
Nothing passes. No,
No-
I just mean
nothing's gonna
nothing
get that
passes
deep.
through here. I meant it's not for like consuming some type of cannabinoids. Okay, that's what I was meaning.
Oh yeah, me
I don't-
too.
I don't-
It wasn't like the Deadpool Wolverine popcorn.
No, it's not that. So here it is. What's my purpose, Trent?
Okay,
You've now seen. I don't know if you want this angle.
I'm gonna guess.
I'm
and
pointing at the I'm pointing. How long have I been doing this? I mean,
No,
I spent the money to get this ridiculous little screen that I'm looking up
Yeah,
that my
yeah.
camera's hiding behind so I can look like I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah.
I'm holding up the camera to the OBS and I'm not only that, Trent, not only that, I'm holding it up to myself.
Yeah.
Like
See,
I
your
can't
side
see
of
what's
the-
right in front of me. Okay, here you go. Tell me, do you like this?
Okay, I'm gonna guess.
Oh, you can get
Okay.
one guess and then I'll give you a hint.
Is it to take an oil filter off of a car?
That is an interesting idea. It wouldn't explain why this additional tiny side chamber is
No,
there.
no, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't. But Trent, that's okay. You gave it your best shot. We admire you for it. I'm now going to give you the clue that will help you discover
Okay.
what's my purpose. Wow, that was a good job. That's sound isolated too. I can repurpose that. Throw a little echo on that, a little reverb.
Yeah, and have it sound like emo.
There you go.
What's my purpose?
Oh, I'm just gonna pull the butter bot saying, "What is my
Yes.
purpose?"
Yes.
That's all. Here we go. Here we are. Are you ready? Here
Yeah,
is
yeah,
your
yeah.
clue. I'm taking a spoon and dropping it into the additional chamber, the additional slot. Can you figure it out now? Yes, there is still a hole in the bottom.
It's the hole.
It is
that's-
not for eating cereal. I will admit this is the dumbest purpose to print anything in this world.
Gosh, dang it. Is it for
Dead air.
it's for when your cup of noodles is too hot. It's for when your cup of noodles is too hot, and so you put that in there so you can hold your cup of noodles, and then you can eat with your spoon.
Survey says
God damn it! That's a good idea.
it is. And Trent, I will tell you, I'm going to tell you what's my purpose. You were so close. See, it's the opposite end of the spectrum. I would have brought the example in here to show you live. However, I wouldn't have wanted my pint of ice cream to melt.
Oh, you can pack. That makes so much sense.
So I can put the container of the pint of Ben and Jerry's.
Yep.
Or
A full
in my
pint, yep.
case, Nick's ice cream.
Yep. Yep.
Which is some type of Swedish frozen thing that reminds
Yep.
me of all the cheap ice cream my mom used to get, but is actually somehow maybe not as bad health-wise. So you don't have to hold the cold pint of ice cream.
Which sucks, and then your hand gets all like gross and wet.
Right.
And it's like, yep.
Now the only
That's
problem I had,
brilliant, dude. That's actually so fucking smart.
right? Just like I mean,
Yes.
look,
That is so smart.
it's no Columbo on the back of the toilet, Trent. but
When it
it's
comes to practicality,
but it's. I'll tell you what, man. It's something.
that's pretty smart, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
That's one of those things where, and by the way, I just got to say, I freaking love social media, and I love 3D print talk social media because you see something, even better, you see ads where people are trying to sell something, and you clearly identify as a person that does a lot of 3D printing, that's just 3D printed. I can find that. I won't have the license to sell it, but I can find it and print it.
Yep.
And sure as shit, I could.
Yep.
It's by far one of the best damn inventions I've ever seen, in my opinion.
Oh, and this is relevant to the topic is the big Slate news, the Slate truck news.
What's that?
So Slate truck is it's like the anti-cyber truck. It's the most bare bones EV you can buy.
I have not heard of this.
It literally comes with nothing inside, and then you just print everything you want.
Oh, okay.
So like doesn't come with the stereo, doesn't come with like anything. It comes with holes, just big holes in the dash.
I don't
and then
think
you
I can print a
customize
stereo.
it to whatever you want.
I bet I can't print a stereo, Trent.
No, but you could use whatever existing stereo that we've all got like 4 in the garage, and then use. Or you could use your boombox, or you could use any Anyway, look it up. Slate truck. It's an EV with subsidies under $20,000.
Very nice.
But yeah, that's their whole idea. Is they're planning on everyone being able to print their own things. So it's not just the DIYers, right? They're expecting this to be more universal for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. I'm glad. I mean, look how silly and excited I was to find out that there were places I could 3D print custom stuff for my truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, speaking of which, by the way, materials matter. I had made my little cubby drawer with the same mount in there. And even though the heat has not been incredible and great, just from the mere fact of something hanging in the slot and friction causes it to bow out because I was using PLA. I don't know what the hell it stands for. Look it up yourself.
Polylaminate.
It's probably an acetate.
Yeah.
So I have ordered, there's another material, PETG. Again, no idea what these stand for. But supposedly that is stronger, so I'm going to be going that route. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to use probably ABS-like resin to 3D print something.
Yeah, and
So
I've seen people do 3D print and then do injection molds, but they're using the 3D printer as the mold maker.
Yes, exactly. Is my failed experiment for trying to smelt NetHeads challenge coins, not these fancy shiny ones, but some pewter ones that look more like maybe they were exchanged or sitting off to the side as you were in a rowboat going down a canal at a certain Disney attraction. I tried using resin to make the that was technically a positive mold because then I would be using that to make a heat-resistant negative mold.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense. There are a lot of people doing that. I've seen many people casting molds of their 3D prints. And it's amazing the technology, man. Like, obviously. But my next big challenge after I print out that cubby again is going... Actually, I got to be honest, Trent. I want to make the Mando helmet, but the truth of the matter is that my garage is still a horrid mess. And I have an area that I put up overhead storage so I could take down against the wall storage, and I can have like a clean area for my 3D printers. Because, aside from like 3 or 4 months out of the year, the heat isn't bad enough to where I can't print out there.
Yeah.
And so I need to get that set up. Once I get all the things I need to get done, that's when I'm going to enter into the Mando helmet.
Yes.
Because I even got like a plastic covering to go over the desk so we can protect the
nice. So it doesn't
crappy floorboard.
Yep.
But I got to get that done first. Actually, the thing about owning a home that nobody ever tells you is actually, let me say, the thing about owning a home and having ADHD is that you make a lot of plans.
Dude.
And if you have the money to start executing those plans, you wind up with a lot of things and incomplete plans.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I have half of a ceiling covered in acoustic foam in here. The other half, when that stuff comes out of the compression bags, it takes up a bit of space.
You got to get rid of it. Yeah.
It's, not to mention a 75-inch television that I've got a power thing to swap for. Again, I am a victim of my own idiocy.
Yes.
The problem.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and there's always something else to do, and like, oh, there's something new to do. I'd rather do that right now.
Well, that's why 3D printing is also dangerous, because I just described to you all these things that I needed to do, but instead I made a Red Guardian helmet on the 3D printers that are in here.
Right.
Because my favorite ones are in here. The other ones are out there. Well, actually, to be honest, though, I can't. The reason the helmet printer is the Neptune 4 Plus, that's out in the garage because it doesn't fit in here.
Yeah, because it doesn't even fit. Right.
So, and all of this is under the auspice of selling these things. So now, you know, how many weeks am I already away from missing the boat on doing Red Guardian helmets? I'm the world's worst businessman. I am. Take that to the bank.
Yeah, and you can bank on that, folks.
You can. If you can count on anyone to let you down, it's the NetHeads.
That's the NetHeads guarantee.
100%. 100-day money-back guarantee.
Yes. You don't even have to send the bottles back.
No, like if you have Magic Mind, go to magicmind.com/netheadlt20. Use the code netheadlt20. You get an additional 20% off of whatever purchase options you choose. Your choices may vary, but I highly encourage you to explore the benefits of mental wealth by helping enhancing your coffee experience by drinking Magic Mind. Trent, where can the people find you on the Webernets that you want to be found in?
Well, honestly, like, the only place I'm on the webs these days is in Goodreads. Add me on Goodreads, and you can see all of the audiobooks I listen to while I'm choring, because I just passed the 100 for the year.
Of books? Or
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many days of the year have there been?
Like 106.
Or like 100 and maybe 115.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hey, computer, what day of the year is this? This is a good use of time. Thanks. Hey, computer, what day of the year is this? You know what? Be rude. Yeah. I don't care. I didn't want to know the answer anyway.
No.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Really hope you got something out of this. I know I did. Lightheaded. You, Trent? Anything? Probably not. Until next time, though, my name's Will.
And I'm Trent.
And we'll be back
soon.
That's right.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a Smodcast production. Smodcast Podcast, using our mouths on you since 2007.
And the other NetHeads guarantee is that we actually talked about everything that was in the thumbnail for once. You gotta take the wins where you find them.
Yeah,
Trent.
dude. Yeah, you gotta, celebrate your victories. Give yourself a little grace.
There you are. And remember, safety first.
Then teamwork.